What up, Giants fans? Hope you're having a great day. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Give me a follow on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. I'm tweeting about the Giants all day, every day, and I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers, so help me get there at @MarshallGreen_. But in today's show, we're talking about James Bradberry and if he could be traded, when the Giants could trade him or release him, and part of his contract essentially becomes guaranteed today. So expect for a James Bradberry move to come today. And Jeremy Fowler, he put out a tweet this morning, and he said teams with corner needs are watching James Bradberry's situation closely. The Giants have been reluctant to part without compensation and have received multiple trade calls. But $2 million of his $13.4 million salary guarantees at 4 p.m. Eastern today. The Giants, they could hold on to him, but a decision must be made soon. He tweeted that out at about 8:49 this morning on March 16th, but if you followed me on Twitter, I told you the same exact thing last night at 9 p.m., which $2 million of James Bradberry's contract becomes guaranteed tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Expect for him to be traded or cut by then. Teams have been unwilling to give up draft picks and pay big players big money in trades this offseason. So if I had to bet right now, I think he just gets cut, which would be brutal for the New York Giants. So follow me. Don't follow Jeremy Fowler because I was first on the news. Shout out to you guys for always giving me a follow. But I want to get you all involved early on in today's show. What is James Bradberry's trade value? For me, if it was just, you didn't have to take the money, I think he's worth a second or a third round pick. But you have to remember, a team would be responsible for his entire salary on this year's deal. We just saw one of the best guards in the National Football League, Shaq Mason, be traded from the Patriots to the Bucks for a fifth rounder because they have to pay him a lot of money. So keep that in mind and let me know, what is James Bradberry's trade value? And if this is your first time watching a Giants Now video, go down and hit that big red button and turn on your notifications because we have been putting out multiple videos every single day during NFL free agency week because things happen at random times. When Tyrod Taylor signed, we had a video. When Mark Glowinski signed, we put out a video. When John Feliciano signed when the sun was down, we put out a video. When Giants news happens, we are breaking it down on this channel. So subscribe and turn on your notifications because I promise you, you don't want to miss a thing. James Bradberry's contract looks like this for right now. He has a cap hit of $21.8 million for the 2022 NFL season, and if he is cut before June 1st or traded, which I expect to happen today, the Giants would save $12 million, and they would incur a dead cap hit of $9.7 million. And if you're wondering how that works, you take the cap hit minus the dead money, and you get the savings. So 21 minus 9, and that's 12. Shout out to UNT, University of North Texas. They taught me all about that type of math. But maybe some teams that could trade for James Bradberry. The team that I've heard the most, and talking with our Raiders Report host, another channel here at Chat Sports, Mitchell Renz, they have over 100,000 subscribers. We got to get there one day. He's talked about, and I've seen everywhere, that the Raiders are the top destination, and I think that makes sense. They have a need at corner, and who's their defensive coordinator? That's Patrick Graham, the former defensive coordinator for the New York Giants. So if I had to put some money on it, I do think it would be the Las Vegas Raiders to trade for James Bradberry. But other teams, the Arizona Cardinals, they could use another corner. Same with the Vikings, the Detroit Lions. They haven't ever really replaced Darius Slay. And Jeff Okudah has not really worked out as an early first-round draft pick, so maybe they trade for James Bradberry. And the Baltimore Ravens, they're always looking to add somebody to the defensive backfield. They already picked up a great safety in Marcus Williams. Maybe they want to add James Bradberry to the mix and have the best secondary in the National Football League. Those are my five. I would say the Las Vegas Raiders are the favorites to trade for James Bradberry, but who do you think trades for the cornerback that is in his second year with the New York Giants? It would suck to see him go because he is still a good football player. We'll break down the stats in a second, but get in the comment section and let me know who trades for James Bradberry. James Bradberry in 2020, his first season with the New York Giants, was a top 5 corner in the National Football League. A lot of people during free agency before the season started in 2020 were like, man, Dave Gettleman, he really overpaid for James Bradberry. But he came in and he was a lockdown CB1 for the New York Giants. He had 3 interceptions, 18 pass breakups, only allowed a completion percentage of 61. He was targeted 91 times, only gave up 56 grabs, and just 4 touchdowns. And then the 2021 season happened. Still a good player, just was not great like he was the prior year. Gave up 8 TDs, almost double the yards, 848 yards. Still had a good amount of interceptions, 4 picks to 17 pass breakups, and the completion percentage was relatively the same. But besides the cap situation, another reason the Giants could trade him is because he doesn't really excel in man-to-man coverage, and that's what Don Wink Martindale is going to do and run as the new defensive coordinator for the New York Giants. We all know Wink Martindale is an aggressive play caller who loves to get after the quarterback, show different and diverse schemes when it comes to dialing up blitzes, but he also loves to run man coverage. More often than not, if you're blitzing, you're running man, and in last year, only 22% of James Bradberry's snaps were in man coverage. He was targeted 25 times, gave up 17 grabs. That's a 68% completion percentage. He allowed 273 yards, 118 yards after the catch. What does that mean? That means the guys are catching it and they're wide open and they have room to run, about 16 yards per catch, and he allowed a passer rating of 127. So he's not great in man coverage, more of a zone guy. He really fits the Patrick Graham scheme, and that's why I think he's going to land with the Las Vegas Raiders. But what should the Giants do with James Bradberry? Should they trade him? Should they cut him? They save $12 million if they do either a trade or a cut, or should they extend him? Kick the can down the line, keep him on the roster, move the cap from this year to next year where the Giants have a lot of cap money. We've talked about it on the channel. Joe Schoen really doesn't want to do that, but sometimes it's hard to see all-pro talent level players like James Bradberry go. So let me know what you would do. Type T for trade, C for cut, or E for extend. One thing you don't want to cut or trade is BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/bet and plug in the promo code chat125. When you do that, chatsports.com/bet, and you plug in the promo code chat125, you get a 125% deposit bonus when you lay down 100 bones. So you'd have $225 to bet with on the tournament starting up this weekend. The Gonzaga Bulldogs, they are the #1 favorites to win it all at plus 400. Then you got the Wildcats at plus 650. Then the Kentucky Wildcats at plus 700. Then you got Kansas, the Jayhawks at plus 900. Or you can bet on the Baylor Bears to go back-to-back at plus 1,000. Whatever you do, wherever you're laying money on the line for March Madness, do it with our proud sportsbook partners, BetUS. All you got to do, chatsports.com/bet. Deposit $100 and add the promo code chat125 so you get an additional $125. The Giants, they've been somewhat quiet through NFL free agency. They signed Tyrod Taylor, Mark Lewinsky, Robert Foster, C.J. Board, and John Feliciano, all bargain deals. And I think I'm going to present you guys with other guys on today's show that they could sign and also get at bargain deals. I really like Kyle Fuller. He struggled a little bit this year with the Denver Broncos, but he was great for the Chicago Bears in the years prior, and he was good with the Broncos his first time around. He played in just 10 games last year. He's a physical corner who excels in man coverage, and he's very good when he's brought off the edge to blitz. We know Wink likes to get crazy with his blitzing schemes, so maybe Fuller could be the big hitting corner that the Giants could target, and I don't think he'd be a lot of money, and he's still a really good player. Then you have Dante Fowler, a player we've talked about on the channel. When he's surrounded by good players, like he was with the Los Angeles Rams, he popped. The thing is, he went to Atlanta, and he was the #1 pass rusher on that team. Only played in 6 games last year, had 4.5 sacks, though, and 36 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 8 QB hits. Dante Fowler is a good player. He still has potential, and if you paired him with Azeez Ojulari and Leonard Williams, I really do believe that Dante Fowler would be a very good bargain shopping price and a guy that Joe Schoen could target in NFL free agency. I would like to see the Giants target the former first-round edge rusher. Then what about O.J. Howard, another former first-round pick that the Giants had a lot of hype in that draft to go and select, but they went with Evan Ingram. O.J. Howard, it really just hasn't worked out in Tampa Bay. He got kind of screwed because Bruce Arians and him supposedly didn't get along, and right when he was starting to gel, the Tampa Bay Bucks, they went and got Tom Brady, and they went and got Rob Gronkowski, so O.J. Howard became tight end #2. Still a young guy, very athletic, kind of like Ingram, but more physical and a better blocker. I think this is someone you could take, a 1-year prove-it deal on. We'll see if they do that. I do like O.J. Howard to the Giants if it happened. Another guy that has ties to Brian Dable, Joe Schoen, Shea Tierney, and Bobby Johnson, Emmanuel Sanders, a veteran receiver, someone that I think could be, a veteran on this team. And if someone gets hurt like Sterling Shepard, or he's not ready to play, could slide in and be effective in the slot. And he still has the ability and speed to win on the outside. 42 grabs last year, 626 yards, 4 tutties, a veteran, has ties to Dable. I do think this is someone the Giants could also target in NFL free agency. I just gave you 4 guys, but what free agents do you want the Giants to sign? We know they don't have a lot of money, so it's not going to be Von Miller. It's not going to be Bobby Wagner. It's going to be some of those B and C level guys, some guys that I just mentioned. Maybe one of those guys are the guys you want. But get in the comment section. Let me know, what free agent do you want the Giants to sign?